4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks. I'm supposed to say it first.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway.
Gentlemen, don't go first. In a lot of ways. Don't come first. Hey, so
Anyway.
look, welcome back to the Married into Crazy podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You could be doing a lot of different things. We appreciate the fact that you've chosen to actually come back to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not familiar with the podcast in itself, if you're new, we're a couple that's been married for 28 plus years.
Yep.
And we've been through some things.
Yep.
So before we even got the chance to say I do,
I'm just making sure you tell the story correctly because he likes to say wrong stuff. So I have to say, yep. Mm-hmm.
we'll tell how we met. We met on
Okay.
a blind date.
It wasn't a date. It was a blind setup. Because you have to agree when you go on a date, right? We set the
We were
time, we
tricked.
do all that. So that didn't happen. So yeah, it was a blind setup.
We were tricked into meeting each other.
Mm-hmm.
Bamboozled.
Yeah. So the first, what was it? Love at first sight for Lovey.
Right. And it took you, what, 8 days?
8 days.
She's a little slow. All right. So let's just get that out there.
Wow. Okay.
But things progressed pretty rapidly. 4 months later, we were engaged.
5 days after our engagement, I had an ex-boyfriend that just couldn't let me go. And he broke into my house. Well, kind of pushed his way into our house. And he attacked me and Lovey.
Knight in shining
Knight
armor?
in shining armor. Defended me. And he got stabbed in the heart.
Through the heart.
Through the heart.
Had 2 open heart surgeries.
2 open heart surgeries.
Obviously, I made it. So survived that.
Yep.
And you would think that, in true Disney fashion, that, Knight in shining armor, Prince Charming, that's where the story began.
Good
But
Lord.
we made it through that, said our I do's, did the nuptials.
We got married 8 months later.
4 years later.
4 years later to the date, I asked for at our anniversary dinner. I asked for a divorce. I didn't ask. I told him I wanted a
She
divorce.
demanded.
I didn't demand. I just said I wanted a divorce.
And so
And you see, we didn't get divorced. So
she tried.
I
And so,
didn't
but we made
try.
it through that. And during that course, we went through a lot of different things. So we had a lot of ups and downs. And during that period, we tried books, we tried counseling, we tried coaching. And more than anything else, God brought us through it.
right. So okay. So we're married into crazy. Crazy is actually an acronym. It stands for compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding. And if we're being honest, it was during that period that crazy was actually established. We just didn't have a name for it. So we had to learn about being more compassionate, being real, how to be more accountable, being zealous for our marriage, and yielding to each other.
And so that's why we created the podcast. And in that process,
Years later, we created the podcast.
she's so technical. I'm trying to get us up to speed.
Okay, anyway, go.
And
You
so,
guys
but-
tell it the right way, though.
We decided to become that couple that we needed during that time. And so not only did we create the podcast, we achieved certain certifications throughout that process. Through the Gottman Institute, we got level 1, level 2 when it comes to couple therapy method that they use. And then we also got certified through the Extreme Execution with Dr. Eric Thomas, also known as E.T., the hip hop preacher. So we used that along with our methodology for Crazy, our 5 pillars, and we bring you subject matter experts as well as other couples across the world.
And I also have my MSW, so we have resources in that too. Don't forget that. That's important.
That is important.
Yeah.
Because she made us all
We all went
suffer.
to school.
We
I
all
didn't go
went
to school by myself. We all got a degree.
Can the church say amen? So we did all of that, right? So what you can do for us is hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, make sure you keep coming back, tell your friends about it, but even go over to marriedintocrazy.com and you can see all the different ways that we pour into marriages like ours, like yours, like all of your friends, right? And there you can actually get the Married Into Crazy app. You can also go to the Apple Store as well as to Google Play. And you can take Married into Crazy with you wherever you go as well. You can have coaching in the pocket with you. So check that out as you go.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm having a hot flash or something.
You know,
This
I
is
had that effect
ridiculous.
on
Oh
certain
my
women. You know what I'm
God.
saying? You know
Certain.
what I'm saying?
Hold on. What you mean certain?
Certain.
Who?
Just one in particular.
Then that's all you need to say. Certain. That makes it sound like there's others.
Amen. But
I
one
wish
of the,
there was. Anyway.
So what we're going to do in this particular episode, like we always love to do, it's not going to just be us this time. We're bringing you an incredible couple, somebody that we have the pleasure of partnering with from time to time, someone that we've been drawn to. We belong to their marriage community as well. Not only do we have our own, sometimes even we need to actually make sure that we participate and we get around other like-minded couples that can pour into us also.
We practice what we preach, y'all.
Amen. Amen. We like to be around those individuals that walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
And so at this time, we'd like to bring to you Cloyce and Shelia Dickerson, who are the founders of Intentionally Yours and the Married for Life movement. Hey.
Woo!
Actually, let me get some sound effects.
I know. You should have had, who is that? The Movement, that song. Is that, I'm sorry.
She gonna spend 20 minutes trying to think of a song.
I'm sure Sheila knows. You asked.
I don't know. Thank you for having
the Movement.
us.
Welcome to the podcast.
Let me say something, y'all. This is the Godfather and his queen. I love them. Don't say, oh, goodness.
You guys are so sweet.
I told you the godmother and the cousin. All right.
Wow. No, let me say this.
Okay.
I call the Godfather and the Queen because when I say sharp individuals, when you think of Godfather, and the Queen, they're suave. When they come on the scene, people take notice. That is them. That's their presence. So they have that aura about them. So you will forever be the Godfather and the Queen. So take it, accept it, roll with it. Okay.
All right, we will.
Look, you rolling with it.
We rolling with it.
I love that.
Thank you guys for having us on today.
Of
Really,
course.
really appreciate it.
We are honored to be here.
Love your platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
Likewise. So let's get into it. Like we want the audience to learn about your love origin.
All right.
Let's talk about you and the love that you two share.
All right. Well, gosh, it started about 14 years ago when we met. So we were both coming out of marriages, failed marriages, and I guess
It's about
yeah.
maybe about a year after.
Yeah. And so my girlfriends and I decided that we were going to go down to it was Obama's election watch, his second election watch.
Okay.
And so we were down on K Street at Oshima Sushi. And the then mayor at the time, Kevin Johnson, had this election watch. And so, I'm just going with my girlfriends and we're, jumping on the political scene and, just trying to, be out there. Right. So,
Be out there.
well, not be out there, but
I caught that too, but
okay. We was outside. So I saw him in there. He was debonair. He had like a suit on. He was really like intimidating to me. Honestly, I was like, "Ooh, that's a grown man right there."
ooh, grown man.
Grown man. But I just kind of I saw him on the standing around. I was like, oh, he's attractive. That's an attractive man. You're kind of looking to see who's in there. And
That was the first time I heard that.
Ah!
Oh, that's what was really going on.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and then you go ahead and pick it up from there.
So this is what was really going on because I had been, separated, divorced for almost a year, and there hadn't been any woman that I had seen or women that had flirted with me. I was like, not interested. No, I want go there. I thought I would live out the rest of my life being single, and I'd find somebody who would be a date for this or date for that, and I'd move through the rest of my life in that manner. So I was on Kevin Johnson's advisory board and figured I'd go to this event just to show up and also show my support for him. I'd be there for 15 minutes, show my face, and get out. So when I got in, I'm standing on like this hallway, and I'm talking to his lawyer at that time, Kevin, and I look up and I see this beautiful woman here. She was in a group of a whole lot of other hyenas. But
Okay. It's getting good. All right.
There's gonna be some conversations after the podcast. Okay.
she was in a group of her other friends. As a matter of fact, I still have the picture today. And somebody else must have taken the picture from almost the same angle on which I was standing, because it showed her and all of her friends. And she just happened to be with a friend of my friend. Actually, it was his ex-wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she was the only one in the group that I knew. And I said, okay, I'm not one that's typically going to go over and just introduce myself to a woman, especially if there's a group of other women around him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got up enough nerve. I walked over and I introduced myself. And I intentionally made a beeline for her because I didn't want anybody else in that group to think that it was about them. But I introduced myself.
So I'll pick it up from here.
Oh my God.
So, we're chatting, we're talking, just kind of chatting about what's familiar. So, about each other. And so we both lived in Natomas. And so he was like, he gave me his card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, well, do you like to work out? And I was like, we were talking about the things that we like to do. And I said, yeah, so he was like, well, maybe we can work out together. But let me tell you something. We've been together, 13 years, and we have never worked out together. Okay. So anyway, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, we can do that. So I was like, okay, what a line, Billy B. What a line. All right. So he gave me his card and said to give him a call. I said, okay, yeah, I'll give you a call. So this was on a Tuesday. Okay. Come Friday, or maybe it was Thursday, my girlfriend who kind of like introduced us, the girlfriend that we both knew, she called me and she said, hey, you know that guy, Cloyce Dickerson, that you met him on Tuesday? And I said, yeah, of course I remember him. She said, well, he's trying to get in touch with you. Can you give him a call? And see, he gave me his card, but I didn't give him my number. And so
that's where I went wrong.
Oh my gosh. I was flattered that he was like trying to, pursue me like that. Mm-hmm. But it was like, dang. So I called him and he was like, well, what took you so long to call?
She was supposed to call me that night. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Not 2 days later.
What? I was like, wow. All right. Okay.
So you see why I say that's the Godfather, right? That's Godfather expectations. Go ahead, finish the story.
Godfather expectations. So I was like, whoa, okay. So actually we put together a date really quickly. He was intentional from the very beginning, even before we even started talking about being intentional. And he was like, well, what do you like to do? And I said, well, I like to wine taste. So he was like, all right, well, I'm going to plan a day for us tomorrow, which was Saturday. So I was like,
you got to close it, baby.
Wow.
You can't be letting it hang. You got to close it.
So we went. So the next day we met at Crocker Art Gallery. because I didn't want him to know where I lived just yet, you know. And so we met there, and we went up to Amador County and had a beautiful day of wine tasting. And we were supposed to like end the date, like after, you know, in the
Like
afternoon.
1 or 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and we were both like, "Well, you want to go to dinner? You want to let's just keep it going, right?"
Right.
And so we went to dinner at Back Bistro. It's a restaurant in Folsom, and we spent like 4 hours, probably 4 hours there, and our date ended about 10 o'clock. And so we were, I mean, we were,
Longest date I've ever had.
yeah, me too. And so it was like, wow, okay, I really like him. Okay, and he felt the same, I think. But what happened
Oh,
was,
here we go.
Oh, what had happened was
What had happened was.
Tell the real story.
I kind of went MIA for a minute. Okay,
You went
so
where?
here's
MIA.
Oh,
Miss
Sheila,
Ethan.
come on, sis.
No, right? I know, right? So I mean, okay. So here's the deal. I had just come out of a 20-year marriage, right?
Mhm.
And I just I knew that he
That's
was
cold,
like,
y'all, for I needed to be wild for a minute.
well, I knew that he was quality. I knew that he was, you know, just you know, you don't play
Right.
around with this situation.
Right.
This is the real deal,
This the
or
real,
could be.
right.
It could be the real deal, and I didn't want to mess that up, right?
Got
And
you.
so I mean, we kind of did we.
It took us about a year to get it back
It
together.
took us about a year, and so here's what happened when that year came up. So I I decided, okay, you know, I'm ready to just settle myself. I'm ready to just kind of, you know, let me call Cloyce Dickerson again, see what he's been up to, right? Almost. So that's 8 months later. It wasn't that long, but so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invite him to this. It was a
Frankie Beverly.
Juneteenth. No, we went. So I said I'm gonna invite him to this Juneteenth event. So I called him. We went, had a great time, and
Oh, that's right.
then
Yeah,
about
that's right.
2 weeks later, I love Frankie Beverly and Mays, and so it was very special to me to go to his concerts every year, or was, rest his soul. Um, and I asked him, I said, you know, hey, would you like to go to the concert with me? Very special thing for me to do. And he was like, sure, yeah, that'd be great. So then he calls me. He went on a business trip. And no, actually, no, I take that back. We got together for lunch or something,
It's
and
a
he
long
told me,
story.
I know but it's a good
It's
story.
okay. I love it. Keep going.
We got together, and he told me, he said, I'm getting ready to go out of town. I'm going to Hawaii for work. So I was like, oh, okay. But he was like, if you want to get together before then let's do that. So we did. And he told me on that date that he was going to be meeting someone out there. Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Now in my mind, I'm like, I'm ready to pursue you.
She was ready.
This is my time now.
Y'all hear that, right? She was ready.
And then he's like, I'm going to Hawaii, and I'm, oh, all right. And I'm like, fine, that's no problem. I still want to go to the concert. That's cool, So he gets there, he's in Hawaii, and he calls me, and he's like, hey, look at here. Look at here.
What's the movie we just recently watched? Look, I ain't never coming home. What movie was that? Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
But this was
Sunshine. Okay. Oh, all right.
no, this was a reverse Sunshine. Was that you were doing that because you said that because the lady you were with in Hawaii?
No, so I said it because I didn't want there to be any confusion.
Okay, so
and
he said he couldn't go. He wasn't going to go to the concert with me. So
Got you.
right, and it's only because I was in Hawaii with this woman. She was cool. Sheila was cool, And I did not want there to be any confusion. I want to be honest with Sheila. I want to be honest with her. I, I've been in that position enough times to know that when something like that happens and
Got
you're
you.
not being transparent, it's going
Right.
to turn out to be a disaster.
Right.
And they were both quality women. The last thing I wanted to do was do something that was going
Oh, she
to.
was quality.
She wasn't quality like you.
You better say that.
She wasn't quality like you.
You better say that.
But that actually turned the tide
It
when
did.
she knew that this other woman was in the picture.
It was on.
Then her attitude started changing a
I
little
was
bit.
already ready. Remember, I was already ready.
You already had
So-
took that year, so you was ready to go.
That ain't what we're here for. But anyway, but we know what the real story
So
is.
he had the nerve, you guys. He had the nerve to say, "I'll pay for my ticket. I'll pay for my ticket if you can't find someone else to go with you." I was like, "What? Bye." My feelings were hurt, right?
Right.
Ego.
So fast forward, we come to September. September is my birthday.
Mhm.
So he sends me a happy birthday a week after my birthday and said that he was going down to LA with his son and wanted to say happy birthday. And I'm like, I'm looking at this text message and I'm like, my birthday was a week ago, first off.
Right.
But
You late, right?
but anyways, whatever. So fast forward, we didn't talk, and then in November, I was at a community event or something, and he texted me, and this is what got me, you guys. He asked me if I wanted to go to lunch with him in Austin, and he said, I miss my friend. Oh my!
If I'd have known it was that easy, I'd have texted that a long time ago.
Oh my gosh! I was like, wow. Okay.
Aw, yeah, that's sweet.
So I said I couldn't go to lunch that day, but let's connect, and we did, and
Pretty much.
and
from
then
day
that
forward.
was
The
moving
rest
forward.
is history.
Yeah,
rest
pretty
is
much.
history.
But I do want to say this. He had asked me. He said, "Do you want to go back to Michigan with me?" And this was going to be in January. And so I was like, "Sure, yeah," because I'm committed to getting to know you now.
Right.
And so he takes me back to Michigan. I meet his entire family, and while we're there, it was like I really understood that this man is trying to share his life with me. And I was like, okay, all right, God. This is supposed to be where
Right.
I'm supposed to be
Right.
at.
You got it
And
now.
he took me to the airport because I was coming home before him because he had to travel. And he was like, "So what are we gonna do?" I was like, "We go together, baby. Go together." This is it. And since that day, we have not spent a day apart,
Except for when I'm traveling.
except for when you were traveling. But so
It's
yeah,
like we
Love
peanut butter
it.
and jelly right
I
now.
love it. She said we go
Man.
together.
Man, that
Yeah.
is a long story.
I know
y'all.
that was a long story, but
No, you know what? I love the story because that's engaging, and you love to hear how. I mean, people have their conceptions about how you meet and what happens and what goes on, but when you hear the real story, I was like, oh, okay. Sheila was like, I'm a bad one, baby. I'm a bad one.
And Snooks is right, because there's a false narrative out there that if it's meant to be, then it'll just happen.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be easy. And in this culture that we're living in right now, that is a false narrative. That's just supposed to fall into place. That it's supposed to be this Insta world, this Instagram that, okay, we meet, we fall in love, we have babies, and I make $1 million and blah, 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 blah. No, there's an ebb and flow to it.
Yep.
Timing is everything. You have to be
Timing is
prepared.
everything. Yep.
And you have to be ready for it. And there are seasons that have to be there. And you guys both went through seasons and you just weren't ready. But the nice thing was you maintained proximity.
Yeah.
And I do want to point this out, that what stood out to me was the integrity that Cloyce demonstrated when he was in Hawaii. That even though, well, I'm just saying, even
Yeah.
though you weren't the one at that moment.
Oh,
I'm not
brother.
even gonna say that you weren't the one. He cared enough about you to
Absolutely.
say, you know what, I
Absolutely.
don't want to be that guy. So he called you, said it, and I have to say that I think there was a seed that was dropped that was like, you know what, at least he has the integrity to be able to say that, not be a player.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
agree with that, but I also want to say, she
Here
knew
we go.
she had just got out. Really?
Here we go. Here we
She just
go.
got out of a relationship. She could have played it like him over here and another guy, whatever, but she's like, let me back off because she knew he was quality. She didn't want to mess that over. So let me go do my thing. And
Absolutely.
then, when I'm ready, like he said before, now she ready. When I'm ready, we'll get back together
But
because she knew she had it like that.
but he didn't char the earth. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's like
neither did she.
exactly. But I'm just saying he didn't char the earth. So
Michelle,
with
I had never thought about this before. Did you go to that concert?
I did.
Who'd you go with?
None of your
Oh, see,
business.
there we go. There we go. Yo, I have never asked that question before. I've never even thought about it.
Look, you said you couldn't go in the discussion, right? There's no more information you need. I'll pay for my ticket. You can't if you can't find nobody else. I mean, look at her. She probably like, baby,
Look,
please. I got
that's an
all
off
kind. I
camera.
know I can find
That's an
somebody.
off camera discussion right now. Because now I'm curious.
he said, who'd you go with? She said, None. None your business. Well, that's good. That's good.
So funny.
all of that, and you've built a life together. Not only did you build a life together, I love that you've not only you became partners in life, and you two have grown to become partners in business as well. So talk to us about how you went from all of that to building Intentionally Yours and the Married for Life movement. Tell us what that is, what those two things are, and what it encompasses, and how people can actually get involved.
So when we pre-marriage, we attended a pre-marriage class at church, and when we walked in the first day of class, I looked at Cloyce and I told him, I will only marry you if you were going to be intentional in this relationship, in this marriage. And it was interesting because some of what the curriculum that was covered in the class, the word intentionality was embedded within
Syllabus.
the syllabus. And so and that just both jumped out at both of us. And so that, and from day one, like I said, even back when we were dating, he has always been intentional, very intentional. And I just wanted that to continue as we, you know, uh, made our vows and got married.
Well, let's back up a little bit because the thing that stands out to me is that while we were talking about being intentional, I think it may have been the week before she accepted my proposal and had a ring on her finger already. So, you know, she didn't make that requirement, as I was proposing. She waited till we got to the class and said, look, I'm only doing this if, so, but that class was really the foyer to everything happening. And I think during that class, we talked about this is how we want to do it. We want to get couples together, be able to share their experiences,
Right.
and so that we can all learn from each other in community. And we wanted to have a diverse set of couples. We wanted to have couples that were married for a while. We wanted to have couples that were newly married, and then some in the middle. And the idea was that people would be vulnerable and share what was going on in their marriage for the good of the community. And the first probably 6 months of us hosting these monthly meetings with 4 couples that we started with, now we're up over or close to 60. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. Every week it was like Roy Firestone. Somebody in there was crying about something. If it wasn't about a traumatic experience, it was about you know the love they have for what was happening in the group. And it just grew from there. It was really about couples being vulnerable, being authentic, And then being willing to share for the good of the marriages that were in that space at the time, and then it's just happened to grow from there, and we've been happy and pleased that couples have decided to give us their time and give their marriages their time and make that investment in their marriage.
Yeah.
So with those small groups, we really began to understand just how important like community is. And so, we can affect, locally, local, couples in their marriages. But we really started thinking, well, we want to go global. We want to be able to um, support couples. We want to be able to educate couples. We want to be able to have a platform where more people can come together, more couples can come together and
Right.
communicate, engage with each other. And
Right.
so that's why.
And it's hard to do that when you're locked into a geographic area. I mean, it's been good that we've been able to grow here in the Sacramento area, but marriages are all over.
That's right.
And what we think are unique marriages, for the most part, we're all going through the same thing. It might be packaged a little different, but in reality, they're the same complexly beautiful situations over and over and over again. And when you get together with couples, you realize that's what it is. And so, in creating this platform, this
Mar-
online platform, the Married for Life,
movement.
we wanted to make sure, one, that the platform was created around God first and being centered, marriage is being centered around God. And one of the things that has been good for our marriage, our relationship, and keeping us intentional has been the daily devotionals. And for me, I needed training wheels to grow my relationship with God, and the devotions were my training wheels. There's no way for me personally, I could have been okay in building my relationship with God by just reading the Bible.
Right.
So devotions became my training wheels. And in reading these devotionals, it really showed me how the verses are applicable to our lives because, they were short. They were short little things about marriage or about life situations. And, they really didn't say anything about the verse until actually all of the devotional was completed. There may have been one or two verses, but it was filled with God-centered information. And we wanted to take that same concept and be able to deliver that with the Married for Life platform. So that's what you see. Even in all the questions, there's God in there somewhere. It may not say God,
Right.
but God is in there.
Right.
And that's how the platform was developed and continues to grow in that manner.
But it is a space for it's designed for couples to come into the space and learn from each other, engage with each other. There's a daily question that it's just quick, 15 minutes on the platform, we say can change your life, and it really is to have couples, to have marriage on your mind every day. And then, of course, for couples to engage with each other and learn from each other. So we just, we hope to make a difference with marriage through the platform.
Let me tell you, it has saved our marriage. I mean, it has saved our marriage on many occasions. And this is why, my wife will do something that will just have the apple cart just upset. Everything will be turned over in the house. Rome is falling. And then I'll have to do something to curate information in the community. And then it gets me back centered again. Reading something about marriage, the way I'm supposed to be as a husband,
Thank God.
forgiveness, but
Oh my
but it
gosh.
keeps us centered,
It
you
keeps
know.
you centered. I'm good.
That's what you think. But you know, it keeps a balance for us, having things in front of us on a daily basis.
I love it. I love it.
I love it too. And you know, it's so funny. So one thing that we were able to experience, Sheila and Cloyce at our marriage conference. They spoke at our marriage conference back in February, and you would not believe how many people have talked about you guys and that the 15 minutes. You know, we even some of our clients who were there, we always, you know, we're doing our check-in and stuff, and that's one of the things that they say has really helped them, the 15 minutes. Because one thing that as married couples we know, it's so easy to take your marriage for granted, right? Because you're here, I'm here, whatever, and you know, you go on about your day, and we're doing everything else. We're putting so many emphasis on our work, our finances, our kids, but how much time are we really spending in with our partners and in working on our marriages? We're not doing that. We just take it for granted. We're the first person to get upset at them or whatever. Something goes wrong, you take it out on your spouse, or it just is so important that you have that that platform and where you're able to help other couples.
No, it's the easiest thing to do, and I can say from just personal experience that I may not engage as much on the Married for Life platform, but I'm there, and I know that when I need it, it's been absolutely amazing for me. And I'll just be honest, there's a particular nuance within the platform where it's just the husbands, and I find the most value for me when I'm able to engage with the guys. And it's nice to have that safe space to be able to talk amongst the husbands.
That's
And
true.
sometimes it's them pouring into me, and sometimes it's me helping to pour into somebody else. But it's also just knowing that we're not alone.
Right.
But it really speaks to, you know, Proverbs 27:17. Just, you know, as iron sharpens iron.
Yep.
You know, it proves that we as couples should be sharpening each other. And I love what you're doing for not just the local couples, because we're one of those couples that show up from time to time to be around other couples, but I love what you're doing for them globally. And I think that all of us that feel that we're called by God to pour into couples, to pour into the covenant of marriage, should be lifting up all the others that also have the same calling.
So you know what's so funny too? Even before we met you guys, one thing that we had always said, as iron sharpens iron, we as couples should be sharpening each other. And I don't know if you remember, well, I'm sure you do, the first time that we came to your house for the gathering, you're like, so, you know, I was like, yeah, we're going to be a part of this. We like this, you know, the whole everything. You went and you got T-shirts, and the T-shirt says iron sharpens iron. And I was blown away, and I was like, wow, because we say that all the time. As iron sharpens iron, we as couples should be sharpening each other.
That was God confirming that we were in the right place.
Confirmation that this relationship that we had found, y'all, you know, it is crazy because we heard about you guys for a very long time. Now, my brother is
Stingy.
very stingy. It's like, are you selfish or something? He knew about this community, Intentionally Yours. He had talked about it before. And I'm like, how do we get an invite? I mean, is it a secret club, or what are we supposed to do? How do we get in there? And then another couple, the Jamonts, Tim actually said something about it. He goes, oh yeah, I know your brother's part of blah, blah, blah. You should come. And so I had to jam Derek up. I'm like, we had to get an invite from Pastor Tim. You part of the thing, and you my brother, you know. So then he goes, oh, okay. You know, I'm bring y'all. But, you know, just having heard about you guys and the great work that you're doing, we're all about marriage. I tell everybody, I love love. I love love. I'm one of those romantic. Romance is my life. Ever since I was a child, I didn't understand that. I mean, maybe it was setting me up for this, but I've always loved love songs. as a young one, and I love everything about love, and when people come together, and commercials, movies, whatever it is. But when we get together amongst others, I love hanging out with people who love to hang out with their spouses, because I feel like we all have been in company of someone who, here she come, oh, here he go again. I mean, that's draining. So to be able to be in the company of other couples who genuinely love their spouses and like to hang out. So this is why being around like-minded couples is so important, because these type of couples, like you just said, they could really save your marriage, because you're like, oh, okay, I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? So
do us a favor. Do our audience a favor. Whether they're in the Sacramento area or they're in the global community, how can they learn more about the Married for Life movement?
So the website is marriedforlifemovement.love.
And that's a 4, married 4, the number 4.
the number 4.
Movement.
Yep. And it's absolutely free. There is no expense to the platform. The only thing you need to do is really fill out a profile, and you have access to everything that's there. The daily questions, the devotionals. We've curated comedy about marriage. It can be a heavy topic. So we need to laugh every now and then. And so there's comedian skits. There's also a monthly challenge. So last month it was about showing gratitude to your partner. This month is going to be about how we said we do, or how we said yes. Your marriage proposal. So,
and another one we're going to do is a challenge will be for date night. How many dates can you get in a month?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But we just want to keep couples intentional in their marriage and thinking about their marriage, focusing on their marriage every day. And it's interesting because couples say, look, my marriage is important to me.
Right.
But if you take a look at how they walk in their marriage, it's a lot different than what they say.
Right.
And we're trying to get couples to really take a look at where they're spending their time, or where they believe they're spending their time, and actually see that, look, I can give my marriage 5 minutes here or 10 minutes here, and it's going to make a difference. We talked about you guys' conference, which we loved. I mean, we came away so inspired, and it made us to even want to create more together. The hip hop pastor talked about, creating together, and how wonderful that is. We actually have the best time in our marriage when we are creating together. We're spending that time, we're connecting, and we're doing something for marriages. And there was so much, Ernie, in what you said about, getting on as men. It's very interesting that 70% of our community is women, and only 30% is men. I'm trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And it was interesting. There's some corresponding statistics that are right on target with what our community looks like. And it said 70% of all divorces are filed by women. And it really hit me pretty hard. If 70% of the divorces are filed by women, why aren't we alarmed as men? Why aren't we look at that and trying to actually change that? Because what we're doing right now is obviously not working. I mean, we're doing the same thing that husbands have been doing for the last 50 years or before. We're no longer just providers. Women are requiring a lot more of us, and than what our fathers were in marriage. But we're still doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's a level of absenteeism that's taken place in a variety of ways. If you go back and listen to one of our previous episodes, and that was aired in late April. It was about an article in Wall Street Journal about how American women are getting less American women are getting married for a variety of reasons. It was a great article, and actually it's taking off on on YouTube, and there's a lot of responses that are coming in from a variety of women on both sides of that coin. And
Because we're not taking it no more, y'all.
Okay.
but
I can do that all by myself.
it's a discussion point that needs to take place. And if you see that, like to your point, statistically, 70% of women are on your platform as opposed to 30% of men. If 70% of women are actually filing for divorce, that's speaking volumes about maybe they feel like they're the only ones that are engaged
That
in
are
their
showing
marriage.
up in the marriage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think, I think that's what it really points to. And when I talk to men about that 70% figure, the first thing they want to say is women are emotional. And, I have to step back a little bit and let them finish talking. But at the same time, a woman doesn't get to her breaking point until she's at her breaking point. I mean, she's going to give us all kinds of grace before she gets to that point of filing for divorce. They don't just get mad over something and say, I'm done. I'm going to see the lawyer.
Yeah.
It is, okay, you've done this, and you still haven't made a change. I'm going to see the man.
Right.
Yep.
So they talk about it being emotional. It's not just emotional. It's all of those things what we talked about. Men have not been engaged. We have not been responsible. We have not kept our responsibility to God to treat our wives as Christ loved the church.
Right.
So all of those things, men have been behind on. And until we are conscious about it, until we're actually trying to make a change, then that number is going to remain the same. And right now, we are not up in arms about a very, very high statistic. And I'm one that believes in empirical data. Businesses run, corporations run based upon data. That's how they've run for years. We live in a capitalistic environment. Let's take a note from them. They understand data, and it's plug and play.
Right.
They got some people that have been stellar, they've been good, but if they're gone, guess what? That corporation continues to go. Why?
That's right.
Because they depended upon the data, and we don't do that in our marriage.
We're going to have you back on an episode called Marriage Inc.
Right.
Seriously.
like
Let's get in the lab and take a look at that and have you back and talk about Marriage Inc. But we're out of time for this particular episode. And I think there's some great data and it actually points back to why we need these marriage communities and why men, us husbands, need to get more involved, more engaged.
Tell them.
More active in our relationships.
Speak it.
If you love your marriage, you need to get engaged, gentlemen.
Y'all heard what he said?
So look, we thank you for being here today on the Married into Crazy podcast.
Yes.
If those of you that are listening felt like this was a great episode and you know somebody that could benefit from this conversation, and you do, share this with them. Not because you think, oh, they need this, they need to hear this. It's not that kind of thing. It's that, you know what, I think that this is a great conversation. I know somebody would really like this. Share it with them because you love them, not because you want to scold them, not because you want to teach them, but because you care about their relationship.
Right.
You care about their covenant. You care about their marriage. Share it with your pastor. Share it with your marriage community that you belong to. Get it out to them. Let's raise the word. Let's raise the flag on marriage, and let's make sure that we can turn those statistics around. Let's get that quote, that statistic that Cloyce and Shelia were talking about, and let's turn those numbers around. Let's really get America back on track when it comes to marriage, and let's make sure that we're doing our part. And you can do yours by sharing the Married into Crazy podcast on all different platforms.
And make sure you visit Marriage for Life movement, the Married for Life movement, with Sheila and Cloyce.
Yep. So that's marriedforlifemovement.love with the number 4.
With the number 4.
Number 4.
All right. And while you're at it, if you're online, make sure you check out marriedintocrazy.com as well. Ladies and gentlemen, until the next time.
Be blessed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.